If you are here and you were born on the 19th of the month, of any month, January, February, March, April, May. So I'm going to show you the reason it is very important to use the rest of 2025. Some of you already know this, but I'm going to expand it. I'm going to talk about it extensively. Why you must ensure that you spend the rest of this year planning, plotting, strategizing. That's what I want to show you. And I've said this a couple of times, but we're going to take it from the number 9 itself. You know, we are moving from 9 to 1, and then it moves to 9, and then it moves to 1, right? And then it moves to 9. Nana T, fantastic. I'm glad that you're here. Don't allow anybody to confuse you with all the, we're using the wrong calendar. Yes, we know, but we have used this Gregorian calendar for over 100 years. So it is already sealed and stamped, something you have repeated for decades. So you can't say it's illegitimate or it's inconsequential. No. So let's put that aside. The calendar we have used, the calendar that most of our great-grandparents use, is still the same calendar we are using now. I salute you, Anigilaje. And that is what gives it its legality and its endorsement, right? So if you were born on the 19th of any month, there is something that is saying to you about 2026. Because, every year, during the masterclass, we're going to look at universal year numbers, personal year numbers, how to integrate them, in terms of leveraging opportunities and navigating challenges. You would notice and you would agree with me that some years are not just it for you. There is an energy, because every year carries its own unique energy. Every year carries its own unique energy, right? Some years, they are just as though this year is my year. Even if you don't say it, you just know. The way things just move smoothly, like you have the remote of that year. That no matter what happens, you overcome challenges, you command results. Some people have cleared everything on their vision board. Some people, they've cleared 80%. Some people, they've cleared 60, 70. Even if you have cleared 60% of what you have on your vision board, you have a reason to be grateful, because there are people who haven't even cleared 10% of what they have on their vision board. So look at someone, for instance, whose life path is 8. And that person lived in 2024, which is universal year 8. But they lived in fear of scarcity. So you see, that person meaning that fellow was working against an energy that was meant to be in their favor. They are in the year of leveraging opportunities, but because of their negative mindset, even though they are in life path 8, nothing works. They are still frustrated. But imagine an awakened, conscious person who knows that, no, this is the time for me to step out. I can't be introverted this year. I have to be an extrovert. I have to step out and take risk. And because it is their year, it's going to favor them. There are people who, it was when they discovered numerology, they figured that in their personal year 7, it was like their whole world was falling apart. It was like their whole world was falling apart. But because there was no consciousness, they didn't know that what they were meant to do was to alchemize that 7 energy and not allow the challenges of the 7 to overwhelm them. Because 7 is an introspective year, right? So when you are in an introspective year, it seems as though things are slow. So let's first establish that life is cyclical in nature. A little bit linear, but mostly cyclical in nature, right? And when I say cyclical, it meets here. Let me draw it like this. So it starts from here, boom, and then it ends here, right? And then it starts from here again, and then it ends here. So there are different phases and stages. So see, the business people who are here, some of you would agree that there was a particular year that it was like you did one special jazz and you didn't do anything. And it's probably maybe your personal year 1, or your personal year 3, or your personal year 6, or your personal year 8, or your personal year 9. But because, whether consciously or unconsciously, you were just so positioned that you were vibrating the right frequency. You did not allow any low energy. And because you are aligned with the energy of that year, you produced massive results. But then it gets to personal year 2. And then it looks like, why am I not producing the same result I produced the last time? It's because you have moved into a phase of balance, of the management of your emotions, of inner harmony, because you are entering. So you see, these numbers are, when you want to understand what evolution is, just look at numbers. Every number is preparing you for the next phase. Every number represents a phase of your life and is preparing you for the next phase of your life. So you have 1, you go through the phase of 1, right? I'm going somewhere. If you are born on the 19th, I'll give you an explanation so you can understand how powerful next year is for you. So 1 is the ladder, right? You are climbing a ladder. So this is 1. Independence, fire horse, speed, opportunities, visibility. You step out, masculine energy, expression, innovation. You're just doing things, you know. With little support, you command results. And then you move to 2. Now you have moved from masculine energy, 70% masculine phase of your life, to 70% feminine phase of your life in your personal year 2. In your personal year 1, logic, you're just moving with your logic, like you were analytical, you paid attention to details, you were very observant, you were moving, you know, the way men move. When your personal year 2, you cannot use the method and strategy of personal year 1 to conquer personal year 2. Because in personal year 2, you need to move slowly, with precision, with your intuition. You're not meant to be loud. You have to be diplomatic. In a personal year 1 is your I don't give a F year. I hope you know that next year, universal year 1, is the universal we don't give a F year. That's what it is. Rebellious year. But it is preparing you for the next phase of the 2 energy, which will now come. Now that you have done I don't give a F year, and you have commanded results on your own by yourself with little support, you have moved with speed and precision and all that, and logic, with the masculine energy. Now he's now saying, okay, it's now time to calm down now. And let's come to a place of inner harmony. Let's come to a place of inner harmony. Because you know why? You know why this bridge of 2? Because 2 is the bridge from 1 to 3. Because in your 3, you are moving to another energetic, expressive, go out, extroverted, moving from one place to another. So you cannot move from 1 to 3 like that and not crash. And that's why I said that life is cyclical in nature. And do you know why 3 is like this? Because after 3, you are moving to 4. The phase of 4. And the phase of 4 is like 2, but is more rigid than 2. So this is the rigid phase. The very introverted. Thank you, Vaughn. Very introverted, law and order, routines, systems, structures. It has some similarities with 1, but not as extroverted, visible as 1. Because you can't move from 3 and just move straight to 5, because 5, adventurous, fun, people. So you use the bridge in between to prepare for the next. So you notice that the first one, visibility, bam, bam, all of this, boom. Then you move to this one. Now let's practice inner peace, inner harmony, because you are moving to another very energetic phase. So you can't jump from one energetic space to another energetic space. If not, you are going to crash. There won't be balance. And life is about balance and justice. That's the whole purpose of human evolution. And then after you are done with this, okay, let's come to this place again. Some rigidity, some law and order, some discipline, less going out, more work, building foundation. You know why you are building foundation in your 4? Because you are moving into the phase of 5, which is a lot of changes are going to take place. So if you don't build strength in your phase 4, the changes that will come in terms of challenges, they are going to shake you so much, you won't be able to adapt to those changes. But if you build strength here, you know what happens? Every change that comes, because challenges are going to come here. What you are meant to do to the challenges, you are meant to adapt, you are meant to improvise. Exactly, odd numbers, even numbers. Changes, because you are already here, you already have people. Let me tell you why people in their personal year 5, they struggle a lot. Because in their personal year 4, they were gallivanting as if they were in their personal year 3. So there's no foundation. So people who move from personal year 4 to personal year 5, they usually have a very, very tough and rough season. Because from 5, then again, you are moving into very, very feminine. So you see how it's moving you from one phase of your life to another. So it can't just be straight up like that. Same thing, no. Because the 6 is more homely. Family, responsibility, service, fortune. So now, listen to this. If you get it, because we are planning, we're not just talking about 2026, but we're looking at the next 9 years of your life. So you can understand why you need to pay attention to the different phases of your life. Now, imagine you have strong foundation in your year 4, and you are able to alchemize all the challenges in your year 5. You turned challenges to opportunities. You made the best, right? Exactly. By the time you move to your 6, which is homeliness, responsibility, fortune, it doesn't matter the responsibility that comes to you. You will have enough resources to take care of them. And then that moves us again to what again? 7, another lonely era. Introspective year. Right, introspective year. So the reason you are in this 7, very spiritual, you are meant to cultivate power. in your personal year 7. That's what you are meant to do. You know why? Because you are entering the phase of 8, which is power. And power has a language. And you can't prepare in a year. You have to prepare for the year. So you use your 7 to cultivate your power and understand the language of power. So that when you enter year 8, the power you begin to speak the language of power, because the only language power understands is power. Doesn't understand weakness. And then whatever happens in your personal year 8 is what you are going to carry into your personal year 9, which is the conclusion of this whole cycle. It will now be the preparation of the next 9-year cycle. And that's why I've always said that the universal year 9 is the end of the beginning. It is the end of a new beginning. So the energy that dominates your space and your field in the phase of 9 is the energy you're going to carry into the next 9-year cycle. So now let's look at this. We said 1 to 9, right? So look at somebody who was born on the 19th. We're looking at numbers now, right? You were born on the 19th. Can you imagine? So you know what that means? It simply means that you are the Alpha here and the Omega here. That's what it means. It means you are the beginning and you are the ending. It means you carry within you in your nature. So your nature is the nature of the infinite, the beginning and the end. So you were born on a day that carries the energy of new beginning, innovation, and carries the energy of ending. So a person born on the 19th carries so much power that they can actually navigate through every 9-year cycle if they have consciousness and they are awakened. And I'm not saying that makes them superior to other people. No. What I'm saying is you have to understand that every number has its leverage. So especially in 2020, in 2026, people born on the 19th, in the next 9-year cycle, 1 to 9, if they can't, matter of fact, if you were born on the 19th, you have not registered for that masterclass. You are joking. Because you have a lot of opportunities to take advantage of. You have a lot of opportunities to leverage. That's what you do. So imagine someone born on the 3rd. So you have your 5 most important numbers, right? Let's repeat that, because there are a lot of people here who don't know this. So you have your 5 most important numbers, which your day of birth, your life path, your destiny expression, your soul urge, and your personality number. So can someone help us? What does your day of birth mean? What does your day of birth mean? Can someone type in the comments, what's your day of birth? What does it represent? In your 5 energy centers, what does your day of birth represent? Charles, please, no they talk or no be. What is your gift? What does your day of birth represent? Now you go to answer this kind of question like this. Your day of birth is not your gift. Thank you. Your day of birth is your identity, your nature, your characteristics. That's what your day of birth is. Your nature, your identity, the movement of the sun and the moon on the day you were born. So you have some natural inclination to do some things which are your, not gift, they are your characteristics. Because they are potential energy, right? So Your life path then is what? What's your life path? What does your life path represent? What does your life path represent? Where, thank you for your purpose, your path in life, your purpose. Then what does your destiny expression represent? Your destiny expression. You know, when you go online, there is a lot of confusion when it comes to all of these numbers, because people make it so ambiguous that they use different words. But basically, if you want to understand your 5 most important numbers, this is what they represent. Thank you. Your life path, Charles. The reason you came here is the reason you came here. No, it's not your gift and your talent. The reason you came here is what it is. Because when you go online, it's almost as though the whole thing brings confusion. Destiny expression, they tell you why you came here. Day of birth, why you came here. No. Because these are actually energy centers that you're meant to focus on and do something about. Now, these 2 numbers, I've said it several times, they are potential energy. The fact that you were born on the 8th of the month, on the 26th, on the 17th, does not mean automatically you are going to be rich. It's a potential. That's what it is. And this is actually basic human design. So you see, your day of birth, your life, but they are potential energy that you have to activate with your expression numbers. Now, these next 3 are your expression numbers. So what does your destiny number represent? Thank you. Your strategy. Your stratagems. Because your life path is sacrosanct. Right? Your destiny expression is a program of potentials. A program of potentials. So it's a program. So your destiny is a program. It's not fixed. Destination. The different strategies and stratagems that you put in place to get you to where you are going, to get you to your life path. This is where you are going. Your goal is to embody your life path, right? Your goal is to embody your identity. And the moment you embody your life path, you have embodied your identity anyways. Because your life path is a combination of your day of birth, which is your identity, your month of birth, which is your numerology, which also covers your identity from the astrological perspective, and then your year of birth, which is your generation number. People don't pay attention to all this in their specificity. Specificity. So now, see, let me tell you, if anybody who wants to make the best of any year, this is what they are meant to focus on, their destiny number. Because there are people who were born on the 1st, for instance, people born on the 10th, people born on the 17th, people born on the 28th. Technically, and people whose life path is 1st. People whose life path is 10th. People whose life path is 70. People whose life path is 28. Technically, these are people whose energy is in alignment with the universal year of 2026. Right? But if that's all they carry in their head, right, they may not be able to carry out the program of their potentials effectively if they don't understand their destiny expression, their strategy and their stratagem. And then your soul lord, what does your soul lord represent? What does your soul lodge represent? Your heart desire. What does your heart truly desire? And then your personality is the mask you wear. How people perceive you. So someone said use 3. 3 what? What is the 3? Is it your day of birth? Is it your life path? Is it your destiny expression? Is it your soul urge? Is it your personality number? Because that's very important. Because there are people who, for instance, 2026 is actually their identity year. Right? So let's say someone, you are here, your day of birth is 1. Right? The meaning of that is that you are meant to pay a lot of attention to your identity. You are meant to pay attention to nurturing your nature. You are meant to pay attention to your unique characteristics. If you pay attention and you nurture this nature, you feed, you rebrand your identity, you retell your story, you rewrite and retell your story, it's going to have a ripple effect on every other aspect of your life. So imagine, like I said, somebody born on the 19th. A person born on the 19th, you are the carrier of every cycle. So meaning every cycle begins with 1 and ends with 9. And you were born on the 19th. So meaning you are, like I said, you are the alpha and the omega of every 9-year cycle. And what does the Bible say? To whom much is given, much is what? Much is expected. So you see, sometimes it is those who are really, really given so much that fail. They are the ones that fail because they don't even know. They are either not conscious or they are passive. They are just there. They don't want to do anything. They want to. If there is something you must kill in your life, it is survival mentality. If you were born on the 19th or you are alive at 1, survival mentality will ruin your destiny. Because a person who carries the energy of 1 is here to do big things. We're all here to do big things, right? But you have 1 in your energy and you just want to survive. And someone said, what of 2? 2 what? What is the 2? Is 2 your day of birth? Is 2 your personality? Some people, 2026 is your personality year. 2026 is that year that, let's assume that your personality is 2. If you are saying what of 30, it simply means that you are the one that needs the masterclass. If you are writing 30, there is nothing I can do for you. Because meaning that I have to spend like 6 hours to help you. So you are one of the people that need the masterclass. It's the truth now. What was I saying before? Eh? What was I saying before I said that? Yeah, so let's assume somebody, your personality number is 2. Right? Or your personality number is 1, rather. Let's say your personality number is 1. And you are in the universal year 1. It simply means that is the year that you are meant to develop such a personality that is so in alignment with your desire. So you have your vision board, right? We're going to look at all this at the masterclass. So you have your 4 quadrants and you have your desires that you've written when it comes to your spirit and soul, your body and health, your money and work, your family and relationship, right? And you have things you want to achieve. And the only place where you can find 1 is in your personality number. It means that 1 is going to play a very important role in helping you achieve everything you have written here. Meaning that you probably need to change how you dress. Some people, the reason why they are not manifesting their desire is because of the way they dress. You know, people just want to dress like everybody. You see the way all these people, what's that boy's name that rap? If you like Jim, that one, say what? Not Odumuru, the other one that replied him. Black Bones. Have you seen the way he dresses? Like a mosquito in a bag of rice. It looks like a mosquito in a bag of rice. And you see Wizkid, and people say, this is fashion, this is fashion. How can people, you know, and you see the way these boys dress and they are on the stage, one, and they are jumping, let these boys not break into pieces. And a lot of you see that, and because he's a celebrity, you want to dress like that. And the only place where you have the energy of one is in your personality, but you are dressing like a clown. And then when people say that this one is not serious, all these unserious people, just you give the energy. Your personality is the mask that you wear, how people perceive you, your aura. You can't look like a mosquito in a bag of rice and you expect people to sit down and discuss serious things with you. No. Some people, you are going to find one in your soul oil. It simply means that you have to power everything with the energy of one. Some people, you are so lucky, your real number is 1, right? Now listen to me, guys. Everything I've said here is for people who are not yet 36 years old. It's for people who have not crossed that 36 mark. Because I've told you, I said, the expectation is that by the time you are 36, you know why? 36 is 4 decades. And 4 decades exoterically is 40 years because a decade is 10 years. But esoterically, 1 decade is 9 years. 9 times 4, right? That is 36. Okay? So the moment you clock 36, you have that's why they say a fool at 40 is a fool forever. A fool at 40 is a fool forever. So because the expectation is that the moment you clock 36, you are meant to have embodied your life path. So you are no longer, so everything I said prior to this is for those who have not clocked 36. So now if you are above 36, what I'm about to say is for you. Because the expectation is that by now you are an embodiment of your life path. You have reached your 33 vertebral, your adrenochrome status. That's where you are now. So everything about you from here is meant to be long term. There are no more short term, momentary gratification. No. Someone said 37, nothing achieved. Oh Lord, I have said the way you talk about your situation is very important. Stop saying 37, nothing achieved. No, you are magnifying the energy of nothing achieved. No, you are 37 years old. You should be thankful that you are 37 and you are still here. And you can use the internet to come and type nothing achieved. That's progress. You must start from there. Yes, 37, you are 37. This is a great time for you to actually start because it can never be too late to be right. So don't say 37, nothing achieved. No, you have achieved something. You have achieved a phone, a smartphone that you can use to watch TikTok. That's an achievement. So over 36, what you are looking at is your pinnacle, not your life path, because you are now an embodiment of your life path. Fantastic, Neville Goddard. It will blow your mind. So you are where you are now is Your pinnacle cycle, that's where you are, your pinnacle cycle. How many of you here, you are in your last pinnacle cycle? How many of you are in your last pinnacle cycle? Glory said smartphone. Yeah, be grateful for your smartphone. There was a time in my life I was so broke and busted. If I had a smartphone, I had one Android phone that I don't know how the phone was working, but the phone worked. So that's something to be grateful for. You are in your last pinnacle cycle. How many of you? Right. And you know the number of your last pinnacle. That's what you are meant to be operating and functioning with. My last pinnacle cycle, and the energy of my last pinnacle cycle is 8. What does that represent? Legacy. Right. Leadership. Mentorship. Wealth creation. Building systems. Power. That's it. That's what it represents. Because I have become the embodiment of my life path. Yeah. There is somebody that is going to win the election of 2027, except he does not contest. Go and write it down. Except the person refuses to contest. And I know I am saying that to you. When a person is in their last pinnacle energy of 8, they are usually people who have gone through so much in the area of power and leadership, and they need to be rewarded for that. They have finally come to their senses, right? And they are now in their last pinnacle energy of 8. If they attempt anything that has to do with leadership and power, they will get it. So this person, you can go and calculate all the people that you are guessing. You will not get it right because most of them, you don't even know their age anyway. So. Right. There are a lot of people who are in their last pinnacle energy of 7. Now, the reason it is important to know, if you are in your third pinnacle cycle, for instance, it's important to know what is the last pinnacle cycle number, so you can prepare for it. For instance, look at somebody who is going into their last pinnacle and the energy of the last pinnacle is 7. And they are not putting structures in place. Because the last pinnacle of 7 is going to be a very introspective, lonely pinnacle. Grandma pinnacle, grandpa pinnacle. So imagine there is a broke and busted grandma or grandpa. Even the grandchildren who want to call. A lot of you people don't even call me grandma. You are not rich. That's the way, especially this younger generation of people. That's the way they are. This generation is so unapologetic that if you don't have substance, economic power, they don't want to be close to you. So a person moving into their last pinnacle, and it is the energy of 7, they are meant to actually now immediately start building structures and putting stuff in place. So you can become an elder that is independent, that is not looking for handout from other people. Imagine an uncle asking his nephew for 10,000 naira. Uncle asking his nephew for 10,000 naira. And you know the risk about last pinnacle cycle, because it happens between, depending on your number, it happens between your late 30s and your mid 40s, late 30s, late 40s. And that age is the most persecuted age group. And that is where a lot of people give up. Do you know that's where a lot of people give up? In their late 30s, late 40s, that's when they just give up. I've tried so many times, let me just give up. So when they are 50 plus, their nephew, who is just 24, 25 years old, who is making some money, they have to now depend. I bet you get like 10K for them. May that not be your portion. In the name of anything you believe in. So 2026 to 2034 matters because it is a reset. It is going to reset everything. So what you do entering 2026 determines the trajectory of your life until 2034. That's what happens. It determines that. Because destiny moves in 9-year cycles. It moves in 9-year cycles. So every major event in your life, the breakthroughs, the losses, the endings, they happen according to a repeating 9-year spiritual and psychological. It's the law of rhythm. It's the law of rhythm for everybody. Year 1, build your identity, right? The year of the individual, personality, right? Opportunities, relationships, karmic lessons. When you enter blindly, confusion. When you enter aligned, you create acceleration, speed. By the time you are getting to universal year 3, you are steps ahead. There are people who already got opportunities for 2026 in the middle of 2025. They already have some opportunities already, steps ahead. That's the energy of 2026 of a personal year 1. It's a delicate year that you should not enter without any plan. Without, the construction and the development of your programs of potential. That's why all of these things we're going to look at during the masterclass the masterclass will be a very practical masterclass. Practical sessions. You will draw, you will calculate, you will develop plans and programs and designs for your 2026 to 2034. Glory said, so 2026 is year 1. Yes, it's year 1. It is people like you that need to register for this masterclass. Because it seems that this is your first time hearing this. So the danger of entering 2026 blind is you won't suffer 1 year. You are going to repeat 9 years of stagnation, of anxiety, of misalignment, broken cycles until next reset. Somebody was sharing a testimony with me, one of the members of the community, who opened a restaurant that cost her over 20 million naira to put in place. And she said she saw me on social media in 2024 and she just caught it like, I've wasted a lot of my years. Right? And she said, I must do all this before the end of this cycle. She had to work extra hard, but guess what? She launched the restaurant. Because I said to her, you must not carry this project into the next 9-year cycle. So there are many of you right now, you have a lot of projects. One of the CEOs of this tech company, they asked him, they said, what do you think a budding entrepreneur should do? He said, the first thing you must do is you must launch immediately. You wait for the perfect time. No, that's wrong. Launch and then start fixing things. Launch and then you can start working, remodeling. Looking at areas where you need to improve on your product, on your service, on your model, on your blueprint. But you have to launch first. It's an illusion. So I'm telling you right now, there are a lot of things ideas that you had. I would advise that you release them into the airspace. Release them into the atmosphere this year. Launch them. Post them on your WhatsApp. Post them on design a logo quickly. Launch them. Don't enter 2026 without launching them. It's going to be like a carryover of exhibits into a new 9-year cycle. But if you launch them, if you want to register, somebody will respond to you now. If you launch them, you know what happens? It's going to be a continuation of what you already started. And then new ideas, new innovations will come. Because there is danger in entering blindly. There is danger in. Thank you. Some people had to launch on the 8th of August, this year, during the Lionsgate portal. Each year carries a different responsibility and energy. Each year. That's what it does. When you understand this, it helps you to avoid fighting the wrong battles at the wrong time. It helps you avoid fighting the wrong battle. If you know the enemy, you need not fight 1,000. You need not fear 1,000 battles. So year 1, identity and beginnings. Year 2, alignment and partnership. Next year, year 1, you don't have to wait for anybody. Don't wait. See, cancel anything personality calls in your life in 2026. It's not going to work for you. It's the year of you and you. When you get to year 2, then you can practice partnership, listening to people before you move and all that. Year 3, expansion, creativity. Year 4, structure, discipline. Year 5, change, unpredictability. Right? 6, relationships, responsibility. 7, spirituality, inner work. 8, power and money. 9, completion and endings. Let me correct something. There is no such thing as universal year master number 11. No, there's nothing like that. Every cycle begins with 1 and ends with 9. And 2025 is the global endings. You see what's happening? Do you see what just happened in Ethiopia? A volcano erupted. The last time it happened was 10,000 years ago. How many of you saw that? 10,000 years ago. That is telling you that the earth is moving into a new cycle. Events that took place thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago, they are taking place now. It's telling you that the earth is shifting into another cycle. So you have to look at that and adopt it into your personal life. Global endings. So what you end in 2025 determines what you begin in 2026. So if you don't consciously close all these old cycles, you're going to drag emotional baggage into your new beginning. Because guess what? 2026 is going to rewrite your destiny. It's a new page. The universe, infinite intelligence, is giving you a new page. It's a canvas. Draw on it. It's a canvas. Draw on it, write on it, plot on it. I want you to ask yourself a very important question. What happened from 2017 to 2025? I want you to do like a self-assessment, a self-audit. The patterns. Study the patterns of the last 9 years. The losses, the heartbreaks, the stagnation, the financial loops, the recurring pain, the poor choices and decisions, the karmic loops. You are the one who can do this yourself. Study the algorithm and trajectory of your life between 2017 and 2025. Because if you don't, and you don't identify the loopholes, there's going to be a repetition from 2026 to 2034. And this is why people stay in hard condition. And this is very important. Because if you don't study, identify, and break the pattern now, the cycle is going to restart. So 2026 to 2034 is going to amplify who you are. You can't enter blindly. It's going to magnify your weakness. It's going to expose your weakness, and it will magnify your strength. So, and this is the reason I created 36-day manifestation and future design mastery. I have people who are really, they are actually, sources of inspiration to me. Because they were because I met them during the last 36-day masterclass. And I have watched their growth. I've watched how someone can be somewhere and in less than 1 year, they have achieved. So it's possible for people to achieve 100% of their desire in a year. There are people who have proved that to me. And I met them last year during the 36-day manifestation. I can count 10 to 15 of them. They wanted to make sure they get a particular certification that is very expensive. They were able to pay for it. They wanted another car. They were able to pay for it. They wanted to, do this. It happened. They wanted to do this. It happened. Yeah, I'm telling you, facts. I have told you that my strategy is not, calling people to come and share testimonies. If something is working, people know it's working. Yeah, Ayo joined, because she wrote it, Ayo joined in November, December last year. Yeah, December last year, yes, during the 36-day last year. There is an elderly woman who is 71 years old that joined 36-day last year. And I kept asking myself, what is this person looking for in this masterclass? And now she says she's a grandmother. She's happier. Now she does something with her life. She registered for some courses. Now they have something in Lagos, something for elderly people. She's part of the people. She counsels other elderly women. That she's found purpose at 70-something. Imagine a 70-something-year-old woman paying for masterclass. I was confused. During the last Lionsgate quarter, we had somebody who was also around. She in her late 60s. And I had to just say, I need to speak with you specially. Because when I see people of that age, I'm always like, okay, let me find out what's I tell you, I'm so happy with my life. So imagine you are just 30, you are 40. You want to give up. You don't want to pay the price that is required for your growth. And you see the 70 plus, the late 60 woman during the Lionsgate portal, and she was sending some of the things. This is the way I drew it. This is the way I'm pasting it on my. At 68 years old, acting like she is still ambitious and ready to rock her world. God, man. So when I see young people acting like they don't, nonchalant, not enthusiastic, when you are 60, you will realize that, I could have. May that not be your portion. And the 36-day manifestation is what you need. You are going to be trained, not just taught. You're going to be trained on how to put your destiny in your hand. You will put your own destiny in your hand. You have seen the courses that we're looking at. How to design your North Star charts. You know how to design your North Star chart. How to design your 4 quadrants for 2026. And how to integrate the Grabovoi codes. Do I still have, see my hand, I have some numbers. Sometimes I write numbers on my body because they are my Grabovoi codes based on my numerology. These are things you're going to learn. Some of you have businesses, your business you need to redesign the model of your business. We're looking at business numerology of 2026. Thank you, Zandiza. Not your portion is not a strategy. Thank you for that. So, not my portion. It's not a strategy. You must have a strategy. Thank you for that correction. We're looking at how to sigils. People ask me about my logo. Like, there is a way your logo, why does your logo look like this? And I wonder, why are you thinking my logo looks somehow? Why does my logo look somehow to you? Because it is not just a logo, it's a sigil. This is a sigil that represents my intention for my business. For everything that I do, for my mission, my logo represents. You are going to learn how to create sigils, either for your business, for your family. Matter of fact, every family needs a sigil. What's the sigil of your family? So we're going to look at the astrology of 2026. We have a guest trainer that will teach us on the astrology of 2026. The neurospirit signs of manifestation. The neurospirit signs of manifestation. Let me tell you what some of you need to do. And a lot of people, you are a victim of character assassination. Let me tell you, I always pray. Whenever anybody is fighting me, I always pray that they use my name or they lie. The moment they start doing that, I step back from them, because I know that, yes, it don't catch you. Because it's not just a name. There is a spell that has been casted around that name. And many of you are victims of character assassination. The reason opportunities are far from you is because they've bastardized your name. And because there is no spell around your name, it is dragging you back. So I'm going to teach you how to cast a spell around your name. When God met Abraham in your Bible, what did he say? He says, I will make your name great. So a person's name can be great. Exactly, Yvonne. So I will make your name great. Psalm 118, one of the verses, it says, when strangers hear your name, they will run into their hiding places. Even in your Bible, in the Quran, there are verses you can use to cast a spell around your name. And you're going to learn that. Advanced esoteric strategy. We're going to look at goal setting for your 4 quadrants. We're going to look at your money quadrant, your health quadrant. You should participate in this master. And of course, I've just put together a book. So my first book on numerology was an introduction. I thought to myself then in 2023, if I release everything, it's going to be like a shock. These people, the majority of people of Africans don't even know about numerology. So I said, I shouldn't release everything. Let me just release like a mini book. But this new work I am releasing is about 400-page book that covers everything about numerology. With this book, you don't need to call anybody for anything about numerology, especially if you're an African. There is the Igbo numerology, Yoruba numerology, Ifa, Afang, Akans of Ghana. Everything is there. Pythagorean, images, everything you would need to calculate. Sound, name them, address, numerology. And every subscriber to this masterclass will get a free copy of the e-copy of the book. And if they subscribe to the VIP package, they're going to get a free hard copy. The hard copy alone itself costs 100,000 naira. It's about 400 pages. So all of these benefits, including access to Femi Jubao VIP program till February 2026, you're going to have an 11-month health and fitness workbook. This masterclass is going to establish you for the next 12 months so that you don't have to worry about anything. There is a system and a structure you are going to work with, developed and designed by yourself. And of course, there will be sessions for questions and answers. And those who have registered, I told you that we're going to start pre-masterclass sessions on the 1st of December. So all the information you need are on my website. The link is in my bio, or you can send a DM and somebody is going to attend to you. Botanist, thank you, greetings. Somebody will attend to you if you send a message to the DM or you click the link in the bio. we have to stop here. This is day 19. Tomorrow is day 18. We're getting close. We're getting close to the 36-day manifestation of future design mastery. I hope you... Let's take some questions. Let's take questions. I think we should take questions. We've spent about 1 hour, 30 minutes, right? Oh, 1 hour, 10 minutes. Okay, let's use the remaining 20 minutes to take questions. You have opportunity to ask questions now. So if you want to ask questions, you can come up, we'll add you, or you just type your question in the comment section. But if there are too many questions in the comment section, it's going to be hard for me to answer. So let's take questions. Ask questions about anything, but especially what we have done tonight. What are the abbreviations on the board? No, I know if you answer that one. Okay? These abbreviations are no fit. Sorry. maybe when we post the video on YouTube, you will watch the video. But the abbreviations are... I would have to start explaining again, right? Next question. What are you drinking, Mr. Femi? God. Ginger with water and lemon. What about the numbers? What numbers? What numbers? If someone's last pinnacle is 3, simply means that you are back to your creative communication era. Meaning that in your last pinnacle, you shouldn't allow anybody to push you to a corner of silence and tell you it is over for you. No. Yes. You are back on your own boy, own girl era. So that's what it means. Please, I wish you could speak about someone whose soul urge is 8. If your soul urge is 8, just check the meaning of 8. What does it represent? Achievement, power. Your heart truly desires power. You want power. And you are meant to cultivate power. Because that's at the center of your soul. How do you know your pinnacle cycle? It's calculation. There are several calculations for knowing your pinnacle cycle. At the master class, we're going to look at that. What if someone's pinnacle cycle is 6? Responsibility. Your last pinnacle cycle is a lot of responsibility. So imagine somebody who did not put structures in place. So look at someone like Femi Otedola, for instance. They ask him, what do you do? He said, I sleep. That's a typical example of somebody who is in his last pinnacle cycle energy of 6. The reason he can say I sleep is because he has put structures in place to take care of responsibilities, because last pinnacle 6 is responsibilities. So if you are a grandma and your last pinnacle is 6 and you want to be honored and respected, especially with these Gen Z people, it simply means that you are you have something to show for it. Does anyone have karmic debt? We all have either karmic debt or a dharma reward. You know, the opposite of karma is dharma. And what is karma? Actions and inactions, basically, that you learn, you pay for. What is dharma? Good karma. Right. If you are just writing numbers, 9, 11, I don't know what it means. So, we don't do, one of the things we don't do here is all these things they do on TikTok. What's 9? Oh, you're 9. We don't do all those things. So there has to be a level of details that you give. Because what of 11? 11 for what? We're going to stop here tonight and we'll continue tomorrow. This is pre-masterclass session. And we're going to start the exclusive sessions for the subscribers of the masterclass, which is going to be the pre-masterclass sessions from the 1st of December. Thank you so much, guys, and see you tomorrow, Friday, for my usual weekly Friday session. Thank you.